Martin.
Good morning,
This is Martin.
Hey, how
good
are you,
morning.
buddy?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, listen. I'm not going to get on you for doing what you're doing. I was telling the guys I tried to squat on a bunch of names for websites. What were you thinking when you started this 4 or 5 years ago?
Well, it was kind of a joke. A lot of people were giving joke names, and I got Washington Pigskins.
Yeah.
And it got the attention of the NFL. They wrote me a letter, said, we know you apply for Washington Pigskins. Sounds a lot like Redskins, but we're going to allow it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it was funny to do it. I got a few more, and I just kept going.
Do you have any gear for any of these things? Have you ever actually made shirts or hats? Anything?
That went to Goodwill a long time ago. I have a lot that I applied for, like foam hands or mini footballs, but those are going to expire. Trademarks are good for 6 years, and it's been 5 years. But the timing is kind of odd because they did this right in between year 5 and year 6 of when I got my trademarks. So year 5 is critical because that's when somebody can apply to say, I've used this trademark for 5 years. Now I want what is called a Section 15 filing. It makes it incontestable. Nobody can challenge that that's my trademark.
Right.
But then if it goes 6 years, then they expire if I'm not using it. So, probably 90% of mine are just going to expire because I'm not in the business of selling merchandise online, but I do have a few that I can renew. I mean, the realistic ones I have are Americans. I got red tails because I have red-tailed hawks, and if you look up red tail in the dictionary, it says red-tailed hawk.
Mm-hmm.
So I think red-tailed hawks counts as red tails or red hawks. And then I mentioned
Are you
Americans.
trying to, Martin, let me ask you a question. Are
What's
you
your
trying to
end
get
game?
paid out of this? Is that the idea?
I wrote the NFL, sent their trademark attorneys an email on July 4th after it started looking like a name change was imminent.
Right.
And I told them, here's a list of all my trademarks. If this will help you get the name changed, you can use these for free.
Look at that.
They did not answer.
Look at that. So you were just really. Go ahead.
I never expected to make any money. I'm not an idiot. In social media, I get roasted a lot. Look at this idiot. He never got a trademark attorney. He doesn't know what he's doing. Thinks he's going to make money. No, every time a reporter has asked me, I said, no, I am not expecting to make any money. I think this is funny. I think it's fun. And they say, oh, yeah, but come on, you must want to make money. I said, no, if they want them, I will say, take them. And they said, no, you got to want to make money. I say, no, because they would just use their lawyers and get mine canceled.
Right.
And then the report is, McCaulay thinks he's going to strike it rich.
Right.
Well, just out of curiosity, how much does it cost to trademark each name?
Takes $225 and takes me 5 minutes.
So a lot of money, though.
You spent a lot of money. What did you spend? $7,000 or $8,000?
How much does somebody spend on a skybox or a suite?
Yeah.
And nobody roasts them in social media because they bought a skybox or they bought season tickets.
Right. What are you worried about social media?
Over 6 years.
What are you worried about social media? I just looked you up. You have 61 followers on Twitter. Now, we can add to that. It's at Martin McCaulay, McCaulay. You seem like a reasonable guy. I guess you're an actuary living in Alexandria. I think earlier they did say, what's your end game? So it was just a joke, but you've obviously continued to do this for years. What would you like to see happen?
Well, I'm just trying to get them to change the name. A lot of people want to change the name. And I think I'm kind of in a position to make that happen. Because if they're trying to make the change in 2 months, they don't have a lot of choices. And if there's a name where I've got a trademark for both athletic equipment, athletic shirts, and a trademark for football games, then they're set. They're good to go. So why would they not pick one of mine and they're just good to go for 2 months? If they pick one that somebody's already got, somebody besides me, Well, I think the generals said they could use theirs. But anybody else, they're going to get in negotiations. They're going to take months, and I don't think they can do it.
Have you heard from anybody from the Redskins?
No, see, the thing is, they would not need to contact me until 3 months after they decided what name to use, because they can make a filing, and it doesn't even, they can apply for a name. They can apply for one of my names. Then it doesn't even come up for review until 3 months later. And then 3 months later, a trademark attorney would do a search and tell them, we found another name. It's the same name as yours. So we have to suspend yours. And at that point, they would probably contact me. They would either object to the trademark office and say, well, you should ignore his are terrible. Or they would just contact me and say, can we use it? And I'd say, okay, what do you want? Do you want me to
So I
cancel
think I
mine?
understand, though, where you're coming from. So you're a guy that has always hoped that they would change the name, and you're thinking, I can speed up this process by owning these names, and then when push comes to shove, I can just go to the team and say, here, take one of these names. I've already reserved it for you.
Right. You can call me a trademark squatter. I'm a trademark squatter blocker. I have these. I say you can have them. Nobody can now apply for these because I'm first in line.
Right. The only one that I see,
he's like a seat holder at the Academy Awards. I think that's the way he sees himself.
Right. The only one I could see that I've heard that they might be into was Renegades that he has. Right. I could see that.
I called it Washington Renegades Gridiron Football because there's a trademark for a rugby team called Washington Renegades, so I had to make mine distinctive.
Mm-hmm.
What I think you know the story, but can you fill us in? You don't have Warriors. What is the story behind Warriors?
Okay. Well, Mr. Snyder started trying to get Warriors 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And most recently, his application was in year 27. And then 12 years later, in 2019, it came up for review because it had been suspended. It had been like on a waiting list for 12 years. And then it finally came up for review, and the trademark office wrote them a letter and said, do you still want this? And they didn't answer. And then they wrote, okay, well, you didn't answer, so we're going to eliminate everything you asked for that Golden State Warriors already have, shirts and everything, but we're going to leave one thing. We're going to say, okay, you can proceed with your trademark application for football. And they ignored it. And then it got published for opposition, which means in 30 days, they published it for 30 days. And if anybody's got an objection to it because it conflicts with one of theirs, they have 30 days to file an opposition. Well, I did it. And this was kind of under the radar because they were just applying for the word Warriors, not Washington Warriors. So if you searched for the word Washington, you would not see it. Also, they used a different name. So it was Washington Football, Inc., not Pro Football, Inc. But I found it because I searched for their address, and
So
I know they have
it.
Redskins in their address.
Hold on a second. A little confusing. We're talking to Martin McCaulay, who has a bunch of trademarks for potential team names for the Washington football team, including Red Tail Wolves, amongst others. Do you currently own the Warriors name, the trademark?
No, I have a suspended application. I have 5 suspended applications that have been suspended for 5 years. And the team has no interest in the team Warriors because they had a chance to trademark it this year. It would already be trademarked, but they let it be abandoned on purpose. Because what happened is, since I've got a suspended application for Warriors, that gave me standing to file an opposition to Mr. Snyder's application for Warriors. It was published in December 2019. So I filed an opposition. I said, you cannot get a trademark unless you've got a bona fide intent to use the trademark. You said you're never going to change the name. Okay, that means you have no bona fide intent to use it.
Right.
And
Martin, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you had to bet and they announced a new name today, what would be your bet that they go with based on what you know about the trademarks?
I would say Red Wolves, because what I read was they can't announce a new name because there's a trademark dispute going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I am aware of a dispute with the Arkansas State Werewolves and the Chattanooga Red Wolves. That's a lawsuit that started in 2019, and it's going on now, and it's going to jury trial in 2021. So if that's the one they're talking about, then they're going to have to make a deal with Arkansas State, which is a public university. So I would think any discussion they have with Arkansas State is going to have to be very public information, because it'll have to go to their board of trustees and have discussion and probably public meetings.
Right.
I think that would take months.
So based on what you know, do you think they'll announce a new name today?
No, because I think if they want Red Wolves, then somebody's going to have to contact the board of trustees at Arkansas State.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're saying that could take months.
Yes, and I don't know how they're going to keep that private either.
Right. All right, hey, Martin, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for clearing that up. Thank you, buddy.
Okay, sure.
All right, that's Martin McCaulay. He's the trademark guy. So he's not a squatter in sort of this evil sense that he just wants to get paid.
No.
By the way, I'm not hating on. I squatted names 10 years ago when that was a thing.
I'm sure he'd like to get the money back.
I like how Eric said,
$225.
who hasn't squatted names?
Come on. Drabby, have you cyber squatted on names before? Of course you have.
Probably when I was a teenager, some dumb website idea that I had or something.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Valdez, you didn't buy a bunch of website names when we were all doing that 10 years ago?
Not once.
Really? I'm surprised.
What was your name, Eric?
Oh, I don't know. I bought like 20 of them.
Poopfoam.com?
No. I'm sure I'm sure some of them were like poker related, or not necessarily something you're going to get rich from, but yeah, we bought a bunch of names.
Well, I did find it interesting that it doesn't seem like he's squatting to try and cash out, although who knows.
I don't think he would
what
turn
may
it
happen
down.
down the road, right?
Well, he's squatting because
he
he's
almost
trying to.
He sees himself as, like I said, the guys who sit in seats during the Academy Awards when the stars have to go to the bathroom, and he wants to be kind of the hero, so that Snyder kind of comes to him and says, "This is the team name I really want. I want to be, one of these 40 trademarks that McCaulay has applied for," and then he gives it to the Redskins.